And we are live.
You asked for it, you get it. Ryu and I will rip your photos into smithereens. Hold on to your headphones. Here comes the pain.
Indeed, it is. Happy New Year, everybody. It's 2018, and this is Big Lens Fast Shutter. We want to start the year with a bit of a PSA or just an announcement. If you are not familiar with our Flickr group page, it looks like this. This is really good. I can actually do it through here. So it's biglensfastshutter.com. If you just like search for Big Lens Fast Shutter, you'll be able to actually find it. If you've never actually been to our Flickr group page, this is how it looks like. And one discussions is that any chance of a BLFS meetup in 2018. In most cases, most listeners out there are from North America. I think it's probably like 70%. And Michael K wants to organize something this year. What he has planned, I've got no idea. But I think it's a very, very good thing that, you put a kind of a voice to the icons that you're probably watching, or voice to the photos that people have been posting. And, well, in some cases, I guess faces as well. So if you are interested, if you have a possibility, like sometimes this year, to want to meet up with other Big Lens Fast Shutter people, I think it's a really, really good thing. If you go to California, and if you go to San Francisco, no, wait, San Francisco? Oakland. Where? Where is it, Matt Cohen?
Bay Area.
Huh?
Bay Area.
Is it a big broad thing? Okay. So Matt Cohen's like neighborhood is Bay Area. I've got no idea where that is. It's next to the ocean. You can, if you go there, I'm sure Matt will do everything in the world to make sure he's going to actually be there. Same thing goes for me as well. If you want to meet up in Berlin, of all places, I mean, you're more than welcome to actually come over here, and I'll be very, very happy to meet everyone there, and we can chat, we can have drinks, and you can eat dinner and just talk about photography or, other life questions and discussions and all that serious stuff if you want to as well. So please go to Big Lens Fast Shutter Flickr group page, and please, put some comments on this, BLFS meetup in 2018. And I think Michael will probably sort things out. If you want any sort of like recommendations to place in the Bay Area or Berlin or anywhere else, just ask us, and we'll be happy to help you out. Do you have any announcements, Matt Cohen? Anything else?
No, just that I don't, on that same kind of topic, I'm doing workshops this year.
Okay. What kind of work stuff are you doing?
I was thinking about maybe doing photography workshops.
Photography workshop. That's very interesting. What kind of photography
Yeah.
workshop are you talking about?
I don't know, maybe how to do it.
Okay.
Anyway, you can go to mattcohenphoto.com/workshops to get more information about that.
When is it? You have no idea at this point.
Uh,
You haven't decided.
One is going to be in the middle of April, and one is going to be in November, and there'll
Okay.
probably be two more in between those.
And like any like sort of prices?
It's going to
What do you need to
be
bring?
$600. Yeah, it's going to be $600 per day. It'll be about a 12-hour day.
Okay. All right. So there it is. I've got no workshop coming, but I'm just kind of waiting for, the World Cup, and that's a whole different thing altogether. So when that happens, I'll let you know. And I have no other announcements on my part, other than the fact that, let's hope that we can start the 2018 on a good note and a good footing, and see if there are wonderful, photos that we can talk about or kind of bitch about this training ground. So here you go. So this one is by Denis Golikov. And it's probably from Russia, but it's just totally. Just I don't want to sound like a broken record.
This is what we call not a picture. Like this is when you do something and it doesn't work, and there's no, there's like no redeeming quality about it at all. That's what this is. This is not a picture. Yes, you push the button. Yes, there were photons on your sensor or whatever, but this is not a picture. The sum total of all the things that are wrong with this, from it being the back of somebody to the one guy being in motion and the other guy not being in motion, and then the bad background, the cutting them off at the ankles, the shitty black and white. Like, this is not good, and you need to, like, we're past this. This isn't what we do here. If you want to do panning, but it has to be of something. There has to be some kind of interest that the picture generates. This is a guy running by a defender at a not particularly photogenic moment. There's nowhere for us to even start with this.
Yeah, this is yeah, I don't wanna, yeah. Just because you transfer something from color to black and white doesn't necessarily mean like it's a good picture. Or even if you shot this in black and white, doesn't mean it's a good picture at all. And I've said this before, and like I probably will have to say this like probably next, as long as we do this, that converting something to black and white doesn't make everything better. Actually, it does. But you have to understand that if something is good and you put it in black and white, yeah, it kind of all depends, you know. Because I think we all see black and white pictures as something very, very good. It's aesthetically very pleasing. And even shitty photos I've actually seen in the past looks good in black and white. But if you understand what's going on, you will see right through it. And you should. Because, you know, converting it to black and white doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a good photo. Even though it looks like it's a good photo, it really isn't. And you have to really understand that. And this really just is a no, it's a throwaway. And if you want to learn how to shoot, I really recommend you should start doing it color. It's probably something that like probably direct opposite to what I've learned when I was studying photography in high school, and that was we start everything in black and white because you can develop it much easier in the lab compared to color. And but it's not the case anymore. We shoot everything in digital, and we should start out with color. So be a bit more discerning as to what's good and what's bad. And this is just a horrible, horrible, horrible photo. So moving right on, Paul Phillips. Yeah, it's bad. 2 basketballs in a row. I don't know where to start. Like, it's just a bad picture, and I can't pinpoint as to why.
Well,
like the leg
it's
thing bothers me. The feet
it's awkwardly cropped, or probably composed. They probably just got too close, but you don't need to have that guy's hand cut off like that. You have to look at the whole picture and look at what we're seeing. There's tons of background here. That curtain in the background dominates the whole picture. So first of all, this is a vertical picture. Like, there's nothing happening on either side that would make you want to include it. So right off the bat, crop it vertically. You don't need number 33 in the background. You don't need the curtain. You don't need number 10. You don't need any of that. It's just the 2 guys. So that's where the picture would be if it was. Other than that, like cropping again at the ankle, cropping the guy's hand off, this is all very sloppy shooting. You have to know the gear that you have, and you have to know where's the sweet spot. If these people are coming at the basket, which they're going to do because it's basketball, is the lens that I have on going to give me a decent composition when the people are doing the thing that they're there to do? And either you didn't zoom out enough, or you had too long of a lens on for what you were trying to do. If you said, all right, forget it, I don't need to get everything in, that's fine. Then you want to just have the 2 hands and the ball and the faces, maybe. So then you would be even tighter than this, but then you would still not want to cut off the hand. So these are like details that you're just sitting down and going for, okay, there's going to be action because I'm sitting near the basket, but there's way more thought that needs to go into it. And that thought is, what else is going to be in the picture besides the guys who are driving towards the basket? Do I have the right lens on to get all of the things in the picture that I want to get in and nothing else? And the way this picture is, there's just too much negative space. And when you get down to the subject, you don't even have all of the subject.
Yeah, I think the fact that like I'm just kind of looking at it, trying to think what bothers me is I think first of all the guy in the back, the black guy trying to go for the block, his hands cut off, and that really bothers me. The white guy who's driving to the basket, it's it's too like it's cropped where it shouldn't be cropped at the top. There's no space, and it doesn't look good. Like if you look at it, it doesn't look good. There's something wrong with it. It's a matter of balance. Like if you should like in your head, I'm thinking like, yeah, the black guy's like hand, you should be able to actually see all of it, and you can't see it. And the white guy who's driving, he's just like there's nowhere to go in this frame. Like he's just kind of stuck there. And then you basically move your way down, and the feet really just get the fact that it's cut off there. I mean, we talked about like how much we should not cut off feet, and there should be a point that you can cut off, and you can. At this thing, it should be cut off at his waist. That's it. It's done. Like that's where it should be cut off. If you can actually keep this, and granted, there's a bit more space at the top, so you can actually see the black guy's hand. The white guy's got a bit more space at the top. That would be it. But the fact that you're cut off the feet over there is just a big no-no. And you have to you have to keep on like looking at these photos, and you have to tell yourself like, okay, does it look good? And you can even start comparing. If you go to like ESPN.com or Sports Illustrated or whatever, you can go to any news website and actually see basketball pictures. And if you see a similar situation, there's a layup going on, the guy's trying to drive for a basket, similar angle, have a look. And I'm sure they will never use this kind of picture. Not that the quality of all these like pictures on other websites are very, very good either, but it looks very awkward. And it's always and it's not a very good awkward thing. It's not like it's a very artistic awkward thing. It's just really awkward in a really, really bad way. And the rest of the stuff, I agree with Matt. Like all the background stuff is just really bad. It's bad. I was off to a good start. I have a headache now. Same, Paul Phillips. PP. I'm fine with this.
No.
Why?
What are you talking about?
No, I'm fine with that. I don't read like. I'm fine with it. Why?
No.
Because the guy who's the main guy, the black guy, has got everything inside, and you can see his expression.
If you want the guy with the ball number 4, then you crop to the bottom of the net so that you know that he's going for the basket, and then you get his whole body in and nothing else. Like there's an inch in between his foot and the other side of the frame, and meanwhile the guy in red's arm is cut off. Like that's textbook bad composition. You can't do that. What this picture is communicating is my aim was off.
But
why
like,
is there that room? What? No, there's no reason for there to be an inch between the guy's shoe and the border when the other guy's arm is cut off. If you want to do some kind of fancy cropping later on to make it you think more interesting or whatever, that's fine. But you can't do this. The ankles and arm both cut off, plenty of room all the way around. Like you don't need. You want a hint of the basket. You want to show, okay, these people are going to the basket. So the only place on the court where there are nets is the basket. So all you need is the net. You don't need the arm. You don't need the advertising board. You don't need the rectangle on the backboard. You don't need the top of the backboard. You don't need the padding on. You don't need any of that to show where the picture is taking place. So you have this huge, wide composition where nothing is happening in the top third, and not very much is happening in the right third, and everything is happening in the the bottom left portion of it, but it's not even properly composed for the bottom left portion of it.
I think I probably compared it to the last two, and this is ways better than the last two. It does bother me that the white guy with the wearing the red, number 8, his feet and arm are cut off. And the basket thing, I think it's a cropping thing, right? So if you just crop it up top, and if you crop it to the side, so you can see the lonesome, whoever it is, like the red team's arm is just hanging out over there on the right side of the frame. But I'm just thinking whether or not the action just compensates for everything else, because it's an action photo. Because you can't crop it any other way, huh? You just have to crop the top and crop the side.
It's not the cropping that's the problem. It's where he was aiming.
Yeah. And also, like, if you're going to be, but the thing is, like, if this is not cropped at all, and this is like the focal length of the lens, then you've got really little, like you've got like, I don't know. You could probably barely got the red guy, the red white guy's hand, the right hand. Because bottom, you could totally do it. You can totally, that's the bottom thing. Yes, I absolutely agree. It's not aimed correctly, because he should have actually had the red guy's feet in. But the rest, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't like have this on my thing, I will be bothered with the fact that the arm's cut off more than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you could do from where we are right now is crop it to the guy in blue's body. That's it.
Yeah.
And
I agree
even
with
that
the
is
whole basket thing as well. Like, you don't need the whole thing at all, right? At the top.
No, you need the net. The net tells you.
I think
where
my problem is he should have actually gone wider to the whole thing. He'd actually gotten everything. It would actually made more sense. Much wider than this.
No, except the background's bad.
Yeah, it is bad.
All right.
So by deduction, it's a shit photo. No, and you can't save it either at this juncture. Like, I just say, okay, you know what? I learned my lesson. Don't cut the arms and the legs off.
You just have to be way more careful when you're composing these pictures. Like, think about where the people are going to be more likely to be. They're not going to be more likely to be to the right of where we're looking right now, because that's out of bounds, and there's a support there for the backboard.
Basket, yeah.
So they're not really going to be that far over there. So maybe if you're having trouble figuring out how to compose, use the net as kind of like a grid line, and have that in the middle, so that okay, most of the action is going to be happening here, or a couple inches one way or the other, and then you're more prepared to change. But the middle of this picture is already in the support of the backboard, so you're giving up prime real estate for something else. So if you're having trouble composing, keep the net in the middle and then work from there.
Read.
Yeah, this doesn't need to be here.
Yeah.
This is a legitimately good picture.
I don't like it that much. I don't like it that much.
This is a good picture.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't like it that much. This feet thing bothers me a lot. Like, really.
Nah, I mean, you honestly, if that's what bothers you, you still could have cropped to the frame of the bike, and you still had the wheel, and you still had the guy's face. I think this is a good picture. I don't mind the foot at all, because it just gives it more of a human context.
It's not the foot doesn't. It feels like it shouldn't actually be there. That foot. Yeah. But on that,
no, it's good. Like, the good part of this, like, I guess we should get into that. Is the way the wheel is prominent, and then also how the guy is making a good face and it's lined up. Like, look how his body is lined up with the wheel. Like, I'm sure Reed didn't do that on purpose. You can't really do that on purpose, but you put yourself in the position to get something like this. And he did the work to get into position to do this, right? He did everything right. And then he just got really lucky that these things lined up. You can't get the rear wheel to line up with the other rider. Like that just happens by chance. But he did everything right and he got it. And so if you look at how the guy's head is in relation to the back tire of the other guy's bike, and then you look at the slope of his body, it's curling around the tire. That to me is what you're looking for. That's good.
And that's the good point that Matt said, is that he was there at the right time at the right place, and he was lucky. But you kind of have to like make your luck, that you have to be in a situation, you have to put yourself in a situation that you can actually get lucky to get a really good shot. So we're not saying that like, oh yeah, it's all luck. No, luck actually plays a lot in sports photography, because it's you don't know what's going to happen. In most sports, some sports it's much more predictable. You can kind of see that what's going to happen, but some sports you have no idea what's going to happen, and you're going to have to put yourself in a situation that you can, when you get lucky, you get really good photos, and that's really, 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 really important. And knowing where, like, what kind of course it is, knowing how, like, where the cyclists are going to be cycling, at what angle, everything. And if you calculate everything, and if you wait for the good moment, good things happen. Bad things will always happen, but at least you're making sure that if something really great happens, you're going to be able to actually shoot it. I want to like it, but I also have to like just tell myself, okay, if I'm gonna take out the snow, I'll just absolutely take it out in my head. I'll just take it out. Do I like this photo? And the answer is no. If, for instance, the guy in the red is surrounded by people in the black, but in a very, very symmetrical way, so it looks exactly same on the left, exactly same on the right. Everyone's kind of placed in a way that it looks really, really like it looks like a pattern. I'd say yes. Or the guy in the red who has the ball is doing something absolutely spectacular. Doesn't matter what the pattern is. If the action is isolated, it would have just been great. I think my analogy for this is the same as like doing the whole black and white conversion thing. And you just have to like take out the snow and ask yourself, is it good? And the answer is no. Just because you convert into black and white, it won't make anything, great automatically. The thing that you're going to convert it to has to be great to start with. And obviously, like, you have to like see if it looks good in black and white anyway. But my point here is that there has to be more than just snow for me to say, well, it's a great picture.
Yeah, I agree with that. It just, when you're doing something like this, where there really isn't any kind of athletic ability being displayed or whatever, like really, if you took out the ball, this is just a bunch of guys standing around, right? So they're not doing anything that's impressively athletic. And so then what do you have? Some uniforms of different colors, okay? A crowd, the grass and the snow and the ad boards. And it's not enough. It's not whatever the weather conditions were here wouldn't be enough to rescue the fact that there's not anything athletic going on and not anything even accidental, like how they're lined up in a really cool way or something. Like those things happen. You can get really lucky and things can line up perfectly. And even if they're not doing something athletic, it still might be kind of cool looking, but you didn't really get either one of those. So I don't know. Maybe if there was more snow, it might have been more of an interesting picture, but just having flurries like that isn't, if they were literally having to kick the ball through the snow, maybe. But it's not enough as it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, this is just not good.
It's a shame, huh? because it's
No,
such a
there's nothing
wonderful
here.
scenery, and I just kind of think you could have done a lot more with this, like a lot more. Like it's great. It's just all white and bit of black, and why? Like this, are they starting a race? Right? Look, is it a drag race or something?
Yeah, it looks like that, but really more what it looks like is a parking lot.
Maybe it is a parking
Like
lot.
try not to make, well, it makes it look like those cars are parked and not going anywhere.
No, that's even worse then.
Like what the problem is with NASCAR is that NASCAR is not, as in still photos, is not super impressive looking. So you're trying to make it look like the cars aren't parked. If they're going four wide into a turn or something like that, the uh, you don't want the cars to look like they're not moving. You don't want them to look like they're side by side having a chat or something. And this, I don't know what's going to happen from here. It's kind of weird because part of the track is on pavement and part of it is on snow or ice. So I don't know really what was going on there, but it looks like a parking lot. It looks like these two are the last two cars to leave out of a parking lot, and that's the security guard telling them that it's time to go.
Then that'd be really bad.
Yeah.
But I just kind of think that like you could.
I'd like to know like what the thought was here, because it's not really what we would ordinarily see from him.
Yeah, I mean it should be of higher quality. I mean I understand the intention behind it, but it's a shit photo because of the fact that there's just nothing happening and just nothing happening. Like I was thinking, like if it one of those like scantily clad girls doing the waving thing instead of just dude, would it change something? It's like, well, maybe a little bit, but the overall thing is that as just a photo, it's just nothing happening, and doesn't necessarily mean like because it's a racing photo, yeah, you have to show speed or anything. I don't really agree with that at all. If there's like an atmospheric thing going on, sure, absolutely. And if it's a snow thing as well, like, just again, filter out the snow in your head while looking at this and like, does it look good? So basically it's just two car on a whatever road. It's just there. Does it look like a good photo? And the answer is no. On top of it, there's nothing happening. So the two photos, the one we just saw with the football thing and like this one, you cannot rely on snow to basically cover your mistakes. You cannot. You cannot do that.
It's an element
bonus.
that adds.
Yeah.
It has to add to whatever else is going on. It can't be the only thing. Otherwise, you're just a nature photographer. You're shooting snow and ice and wild parking lots or something. It's just not enough.
It's a Russian parking lot picture. That's what they do. I like this. Matt Cohen.
Yeah, I saw this earlier. It's fine.
I've got no problem at all with this one. Since about
to me, I think it gets caught in the middle. Like I would either like to see no blue tape in there or way more things. Yeah.
I like the blue tape. And I was thinking to myself, like, what happens like if the guy's a bit more like up the stairs and if the feet are not covered by the tape?
Yeah, I just think that the tape is distracting to me. So I would either rather have it not there or have so much stuff, other colors of tape or other, something, trees, something that was in between me and the subject at that point.
Really?
It's not bad. I don't want to get too far into this because it's an interesting picture and it's a good thought. Just, I don't know. I guess like the way my brain is programmed, it's programmed to kind of filter out those blue lines and try to figure out exactly what's going on. And because they are where they are, it's really difficult to filter them out because they're, basically covering up most of the frame, like the top third and the bottom third, and then you have just like the guy in the middle. So I would like to see it be either really obscured or not obscured at all. And to me, it feels like you got caught in the middle a little bit.
I mean, like I like to actually see a version of it that he's actually 3 steps or
Yeah.
even actually
Yeah,
like
I agree with
closer to
that.
the middle. Yeah, because
I agree with
I
that too.
read like in my I love that blue light. Like I love it. I think it's so nice it's actually there because without it, I think you probably see that kind of photo. You know, like it's just there. He's climbing up the fucking stairs, but it's that blue line, like boom. You know, it adds a little bit more something
Yeah,
to
I
it.
think I understand what you're saying. I think it's not
Mhm.
enough to clear that bar.
All right, very good job. Sweet, no? Yeah. Um, Toyin, what do you think?
You know, I don't necessarily think it needs to be in training ground, but it's also not a good picture. So I don't know what
No,
to really say about that. I mean, you're not doing anything wrong as far as like,
it's not very
you know,
exciting, you know.
yeah, it's just, you know, it's just kind of blah. I don't know. Maybe the picture happened when this guy was going for the ball or something. But, you know,
Mm,
individually, it's fine. Like, okay, there, you isolated the action. There's, you know, I like the look on both of their faces. You know, but it doesn't tie together. Like, it doesn't make it a good picture because of the space and the one guy being on the ground and the one guy standing up. It when you have something like that, then you know, listen, I run into things like this all the time where there is a piece of great action or there's a good expression or something like that, but um, you know, it could be. I'm trying to think of a good example in American football. If you know a guy is diving at another guy's ankles, you can kind of see it here. It creates like an L. So you have the guy standing up, or like a backwards L, I guess. The guy standing up and then the guy on the ground. And imagine him if he was slid over a little bit and going after his ankles. Then all of the action of the picture is happening along the right edge and along the bottom. And then you have that gigantic space in the, you know, the middle and the upper left that it's not helping anything. And there's no way that you can crop around it because of the relation in space between the two people. To
yeah.
me, it's like, you know, you want to shoot things that are, if they're not going to be all in the same plane, if, you know, these two guys weren't, you know, in a blob together or, you know, one in front of the other or something like that, then you're creating a space problem for yourself. There, even if there was something crazy going on here, you still have all of that space and it's not like interesting or visually pleasing or anything like that. So it's something to keep in mind when you're composing is that what's happening and can you crop around it later. And if these two were both standing up, then you can just make a vertical out of it and you don't have to worry about all the other space. But because the one guy's on the ground and the other guys, the picture needs to be as wide as the two guys and it needs to be as tall as the guy who's standing up. And you're just, any way you try to solve that problem, it's going to be a problem because there's going to be more negative space that doesn't help the picture out.
I mean, like if I think the thing is like it's to me it's just the whole scene is just not dramatic enough because I've just kind of been like looking back and forth between the two guys and just thinking like Matt said, like I think it's fine. It shouldn't be here, but I don't think it's a good photo, and that's probably it. Like it's just not a dramatic scene enough for me. That it's already happened. Whatever happened, like the guys tried to tackle the guy with the ball, and it didn't work. So he's on the ground, I'm assuming, and you know the other guy's running away. And I don't know, like it's just not dramatic enough. Like it's not like if he's celebrating as he was kind of going into the not the end zone. What is it called? The where you do the try thing. It would have been different. Like it's just not right to me, and it's just not dramatic enough for me, and that's probably why. Like it's gonna bit half. It's between nothing happening and something really big happening, and it's in between. And in between is never like it's you never want to be in the in between moment, and this is exactly in between. It's not like it's not a really really big moment, and it's not nothing's happening. Like it's really that in between, and there's not enough impact for me, and that's probably why. I like the composition, but it's just ugh, yeah. this is really nothing happening. Absolutely nothing happening, and you should throw it away. It's a shit photo.
Yeah, I think people are like, there's a theme that we're seeing just today, and it's that everybody is focused on one element of the picture. The expression on a face, the snow, the ice. Those are, again, just every picture has elements in it. There's very few pictures that, you know, there's only one thing, and that one thing is so amazing that it's in the picture. So everybody here is grasping at things that are very small and not enough to carry the picture. So yeah, the defender here has, you know, a face on for sure, but it's not matched by anything else. Like, both of the guys in pink look like they're doing nothing at all. The guy on the left edge really looks like he's just standing there, and the other guy doesn't look like he's moving very fast at all, and he's turned around, so it looks like whatever happened is over. I mean, maybe the whistle blew or something like that. I don't know, but it's not enough. Like, the guy's face isn't supported by the other things that are in the picture, because those people don't look like they're very intense at this point at all.
Yeah, it's just that shit. No, doesn't have to be here. Although the f-stop is way too high. Like, you cannot. It's too much shit going in the background, and it really. If the background is blurred enough, it would have been absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. It's a great action.
But could
moment.
it have been? Could it have been
Let's
though?
see. No.
It looks like, yeah,
it's
it looks
2.8.
like, right. It looks like who's ever taking the picture is the same distance away from the action as what's going on in the background. It's going to be tough at that point. But I mean, that's a good argument for shooting with lenses that go beyond 2.8. I would definitely do that. I have definitely done that for wrestling.
Yeah, because it's too distracting in the background, you know, and it gets swallowed up, the entire thing. Like, it's not like, now I can see it, but when I saw it for the first time, it was like, what's happening, you know? And you have to like readjust your eye to see that, yeah, there's action going on. Things you can do to avoid this. Same thing goes for figure skating as well. There's like stuff in the background that's bothering you. You shoot from the top. If you really want to shoot from the side, then you have to aim towards a blank space that there's nothing going on. So you have to basically change an angle where you're shooting from. If it's like this all around, you're out of luck. If the people who are, it's just assume like all the people who are in the background looks like that. If it's two, for instance, black people going at it like this, it's actually much easier because there's much of a contrast going on. If it's two white people going at it like this, it just gets lost. And I mean, there's the only two things I can possibly think of, because I have to deal with that in figure skating, and because it really bothers me that there's a lot of shit going on in the background, and it really swallows up the entire, whatever is like in the foreground that I'm trying to shoot. And the only solution that I really came up with is A, shoot from the top or from an angle so that the background is much cleaner, or B, that you shoot from a really, really low angle. You aim towards, you basically like find a background that is much cleaner and much more, there's not that much going on. Or C is to shoot from a really, really, really low angle and get lucky that they come close to you. That's the only way you can do it.
Or with a 1.4 prime.
Or with a higher, it's a much wider aperture lens. Yeah, because it's a shame though, because I like the action. It's a drum? No, it's the railing. It's a shit picture. Simon. If you're shooting something like this, like it's a fan related thing, It has to be like there has to be some like really big thing that's really evident or something really just eye catching going on. So you say, "Wow,
They
that's
need to
really,"
be playing it.
huh?
It's a drum, right?
No, no, it's not a drum. I think it's
It's
just a
not.
railing. It looks
I
like a
don't
drum,
think so.
right? Yeah, it's like the corner of the railing. That's it. It doesn't really matter, does it? At the end of the day, because it looks like
Scroll
shit
down.
anyway. Yeah,
Scroll down. Scroll down.
doesn't say anything.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you need to fit the fans in the picture. Like if these stickers and that rope or whatever are interesting to you, and they're like a fixture of this stadium or something, then you need to have fans be in the picture.
Ugh. Okay.
Yeah, this doesn't need to be here. It's
Yeah,
fine.
I'm okay with it. Yeah. Whoever it is, Simon West. Probably from the same match. Simon West. Oh, it says
There was
Bray
like,
Wyatt's on it.
yeah, there was a note in the training ground thread about it. This is where it said that
Oh, it's a
thing. Yeah,
drum.
that's the
It's a
drum.
drum.
Yeah,
It's a drum.
yeah. All right. So,
Just
uh,
shoot the wrist.
yeah, not an interesting photo. That means that's it. We don't care. How would you work this in? It's very difficult to work something in that's that far away from the face, right? So, like how when people win a gold medal in the Olympics, and then there's always the picture of them like taking a bite of it.
Mm.
That's not because people like the taste of gold medals, right? Not even the people that win them. It's because if you put the gold medal on, all of a sudden it's like, what, 2 feet away from your face. So the people that are taking the pictures are super limited as to what they can do, because if they're trying to have a picture showing you with your gold medal, then it's too far away, and you have this like long narrow rectangle that goes from the top of your head to the bottom of the medal, and it looked dumb. And so somebody at some point, I guess, figured out, well, if you hold the medal right next to your face, then you can have a nice tight picture with just the face and just the medal. And then people took it even further, and if you are biting the medal, then you can have it just tight to the face. So that's how all that happens. So what we're talking about is something that's 2 feet away from the face, and so you either have just the hand and the tape, which is super boring, or you have the hand down at his side, which is pretty far away from his face, or you have it when he's kicking, which again, if you showed the kick and the face and the hand, then you have that weird negative space in between. So what can you do? Not very much. You can definitely try. You can, maybe track this guy when he's on the sideline or when he's coming out on the field, because what you want is for that tape to end up somewhere interesting. You want it to be closer to his face, or you want it to be closer to a ball. I guess if he's the kicker, it's never going to be that close to the ball. Maybe I don't know, what sport is it? Rugby?
Yeah.
Does this guy ever throw the ball? Like, that's when I would want
Yeah.
it.
I think he can. Yeah. I mean, like, he does actually get dirty. It's not like he doesn't get
Yeah,
dirty,
I would want this with so what you
with
want
the
is,
ball,
because yeah, it's a small detail. So either he, like, if he was choking someone, that would be like the ultimate, right? Like, that's the holy grail of this guy's pictures is
like he's
choking
crying, and you can see the
with the
thing. Like,
well,
yeah.
right. But I mean, if you're looking at the best thing that could possibly happen, it would be him choking someone, because his hand would be right there, and you'd be able to see it saying relax, and you'd be seeing the other guy's eyes bug out of his head or something. Like, that's what you want.
Mm.
But you're
And I
not
think,
probably going to get that. So you need to be looking for something that's happening closer. Like, you might look at this and say, oh yeah, it's all one body, so it's close. But it's not close photographically speaking, because what's going on in between. We don't care about his arm. You care about his face and you care about the tape. So you need to move the action towards the tape. And if it's not going to be his head moving, it needs to be, something else coming to his hand or something like that. You need to cut down that space and make it a tight picture.
You have to just like think of a scenario like with, if you can see the relax in a photo, that it tells a story. That, for instance, like if he's, he missed something and he's covering his face, or if he's consoling somebody, or if he's excited, and then you are telling a story that words actually mean something in that particular frame, and that you have to do. That is, as a photographer, that's what you aim for, is tell a story. And this doesn't actually like tell a story. This doesn't actually tell a story at all. Because of the fact that this photo says nothing. It says absolutely nothing. The only thing it says is that it's got the tape that says relax on it. That's all I see. And like Matt said, like you have to put a context behind this whole thing in order to actually make it work. That if there's a lot of blood on it, if there's a lot of mud on it, if there's a ball next to it, I think it will mean a lot more, But as this photograph, it doesn't do anything at all. But it's an interesting thing. Like it's very, you have to always be thinking like what kind of story you can tell visually when you have something like this. I mean, it's not every single sports photograph tells a story. But sometimes there is a chance to do it, and you have to really, come up with your interpretation of how you can actually tell a story. And that would actually make it interesting. Man, I hate pictures with the chins cut off like that. Like, it's a no-no. You throw it away immediately, and that's it. You fucked it up. That's it. It's gone. I can't think of anything else. That sucks.
Yeah, I don't have such a strong opinion about chins.
I
do fail to understand why it's cut off. Like these choices that people make just really perplex me. Like when there's that much space on top, like what is the
he just didn't go down fast enough,
Yeah.
And is that's the last one.
Well, I don't know what this is supposed to be.
I think they're celebrating, but there's just like the people are not high enough. You're not standing right in front of the screen.
Yeah.
You're standing and that's what you have to get. You can't get this.
It's a shame because something like that, you're really far away from it being cool. But I could see it. If there were literally side to side filled with people whose head and shoulders were above the bottom of that would be fine. But a few fists and a couple of half forearms is not enough.
I mean, it's a great photo. If you can imagine like all these people standing in front of the screen and like going crazy, it would have been absolutely perfect.
Yeah, and for real, there has to be something else happening on the actual scoreboard. It can't be this.
Yeah, because it's like, I understand like they just scored, but it has to be a bit more obvious. It's not obvious to me enough.
It has to be the close-up of the guy celebrating who scored, and then the hands on the bottom. Like I don't mind, if there's a time where maybe there's a bigger game, there's more people or something like that. I don't know how you do it, because you would need them to be higher anyway.
Yeah. It's not easy. I don't think it's going to be possible over here at all. Like how it's actually like probably the stadium is set up and where you can stand. It won't happen. It won't happen. But that's it, though. That's it for the first training ground. If you want more information on biglensfastshutter.com, you should go to biglensfastshutter.com and you will have all the information. We had podcasts every month. We discussed about a lot of things about sports photography. We have assignments. We have masterclass. There's a lot. Probably by far the best sports photography podcast in the world. Might be the only one. It's not the only one. I just recently looked at it. There's like other sports photography podcasts, but it just like, talking to other sports photographer and like that's all they do. But we are here for you, and that makes us the best that there is. And we hope that yeah, we get better and better. I mean, this is like our what, fifth, sixth year? How long has it been? It's been a long time, no?
Seventh.
Seventh year? Seventh year.
Yeah.
A long time. So yeah, it's a new year. If you just saw this and if you want to get involved, yeah, first go to biglensfashion.com. And the other thing you can go is like what we actually said in the beginning of this podcast, this training ground, is to go to flickr.com and search for Big Lens Fashion, and you can find all the information there. There's a lot of threads. People there who have been there for a long time are very, very, very nice. They're nice people, and they're very, very helpful. So put something in there. There'll be bound someone who's going to actually answer your question. So please ask away. If you want to ask us any questions, please email us to saveme@biglensfashion.com, and that's save me, like SAVE me at biglensfashion.com. If you feel like you need to give us money because we've done such a great job of enlightening you so early this year, please go to patreon.com/BLFS. And yeah, starting from $10 a month, I think you can even do a bit lower, like $1 a month or like $5, whatever you want. You can just give us money and we'll be happy. And there's like, things that actually will come along with how much you pay us every month. And if you think about it, it's not that much money. And yeah, this is how we earn our living. That's not true. We do other things as well. We are professional photographers. So yeah, I just want to start 2018 on a good note. And yeah, let's hope that it's going to get better and better and better. And hope to see you guys around in different parts of biglensfashion.com. And yeah, that ends our training round. Have a great day and see you around.